So the first step to making a Gorilla Tag movie is the planning stage. Now the planning stage might be one of the most important parts because you can't make a movie if you haven't planned it out and know what you're doing. The first step to filming the first step to the planning stage of a Gorilla Tag movie probably has to be coming up with your original idea and the movie that you want to make. Now there's lots of different things you could do to come up with a movie idea. One thing that people do is they like to use ideas of actual movies like Spider-Man, Squid Games, Batman, Avengers, stuff like that. But the thing is, these movies are kind of boring because so many people have made Spider-Man and Squid Game movies that it's just ridiculous. Like, even I've done a Squid Game movie. So sometimes it feels a lot cooler to come up with your own movie idea. So if you want to come up with your own movie idea, one of the things I like to do is look at cosmetics and shop and decide from there. So let's take this for example. There's a bunch of cosmetics over here. This is what stands out to me is these three right here. You could find someone who owns all three of these cosmetics or buy those cosmetics, and you could make a movie called Bigfoot or something like that, or Sasquatch, and it could be a movie about Bigfoot on the loose and the police are looking for him or something like that. See, and then there's like other movies you could do. Like over here, there's a robber outfit. You could make like a cops and robbers movie. I mean, there's these like weird suits or something. You could maybe make like a astronaut movie or something. Let's see what else. There's all of these over here, so maybe you could make like a camping movie or like a Boy Scouts movie. It really helps to just look at the cosmetics and shop for planning your actual movie. The other super important part of planning a movie is getting your cast. Now, getting cast can be very difficult. This is probably the second most difficult part of making a movie. What I do is I have a Discord server, and I just get people from there and I make announcements asking people if they have these cosmetics, if they want to be in a movie. But for some people, it could get hard to get a lot of members in your server if you don't have lots of subscribers. So if you have a low subscriber count, it could help by promoting your Discord server in other servers like the Gorilla Tag server, or my server has a very active movie community, and there's lots of people that just want to be in movies. So it's a great place to go and try and find people for your movies. If you don't have Discord and you're trying to make a movie, it's a lot harder, but maybe you could just get your friends from school to do it with you, or your friends you have added on Meta, you could do it, but Discord is definitely the easiest way to go. My last tip for the planning stage of making Gorilla Tag movies is to just make sure you give your actors enough notice. If you randomly ping people saying, or if you randomly text them or DM them or whatever saying, hey, be in my movie right now, there's a good chance that they could be doing something, especially during summer. People go to pools, beaches, vacations, all kinds of that stuff. So make sure that you're telling your actors at least several hours in advance. Usually I tell my actors the day before so that they can ask their parents, hey, can I get on, and stuff like that. So make sure that you're giving your actors good warning on when to be in a movie. I'm trying to think. The other thing that people like to do for preparing and planning movies is scripts. I don't use scripts. I think that they could be a waste of time. I plan it all in my head and then come up with the lines as I go. But if you're someone who likes to be organized, a script could be good for you. It's just they take a lot of time. The second stage for planning a Gorilla Tag movie is the recording and filming stage. I personally think that the Live camera mod, which I'm recording on right now, works just fine. I think it works really well. As far as recording stage tips go, you don't really need to use smoothness. I don't use smoothness on the camera for my movies. You can if you want. But recording, just make sure that you're being nice. I mean, that's the problem with lots of movie directors, that they're mean and they yell at their actors. I try my best to be as nice as I can. Be nice to your actors, because no one wants to work for a movie creator that's rude and yells at his actors when they mess up. So just try to be nice when your actors mess up. If they do it a bunch and they're messing around, you could just ask them to leave the code or tell everyone else to switch the code. But I mean, for the most part, just try not to yell. It's not worth the time if they're messing around trying to ruin your movie. Also, my advice would be to try and mix up the scenery a bit. Like, try to go to different maps. Don't record the whole thing in just one map in Gorilla Tag. Try to mix it up, throw in some other stuff. If you're doing an action movie, not every scene has to be a fight scene. You could have planning scenes and like training scenes and talking scenes. Just don't make the whole thing one big long fight. But that's really kind of all I have for recording advice. The third stage for planning, or the third stage for making a Gorilla Tag movie is the syncing stage. Now this is often the most difficult part for people, is the syncing stage. Now the syncing stage in Gorilla Tag can definitely be difficult as far as making movies go. On my MetaQuest 2, my form was that after I recorded all the clips, I'd go through and, oh, by the way, when you make movies on Live Camera Mod, they don't show up in your normal gallery or camera like normal videos do from your POV. You have to go to files on your MetaQuest 2, 3, whatever you have. You have to go to the files and then you have to manually sync every single one, which I know it can be annoying, but that's what you have to do. So after you go through and sync all of those, they'll get to your phone, but they're files. So if you're on an iPhone, you can't really save that to your camera roll. So I downloaded an app called Media Convert, and from Media Convert you can like convert the files into videos and then save them to your camera roll and then to CapCut. I know it's a big long 4-step process, but that's just the way that I used. It's very difficult. But for some reason on my Quest 3S, I can't use this method. So if you're on the Quest 3S like I am, like the new Xbox Quest 3S, or if using that doesn't work, you can download the app called WhatsApp on your phone in your VR and make sure it's synced to both devices on the same account. And then all you have to do is go to your thing, your clip from the Live Camera Mod in files, and then I think you press sync or you press share, and then you press WhatsApp and send to yourself, and you could just simply send it to your phone. Or you can open up the WhatsApp app and then press gallery and then select all the videos and pictures you want to send to yourself. And it's so easy. It's super simple. This is the way I've been doing my movies and videos recently, and it is very, very easy. My last tip for syncing and the syncing stage in general is just to be patient. It takes a long time, and this is the most annoying part of Gorilla Tag movies, but it's worth it in the end. What can I tell you? Some stages are funner than others. This is just the boring part, but I mean, it is what it is. That's what you have to do to make movies. The final stage for making Gorilla Tag movies, the fourth and final stage, is editing and finalizing your movie. When editing your Gorilla Tag movie, it's important that you add lots of sound effects. I mean, when you're watching a movie, there's going to be a noise when they punch each other. So if you're making an action movie, you got to add punching noises, or else it just sounds weird. It's just weird when there's no sound when they punch. My best advice would be to add different punch sound effects. So if you just use one punch sound effect the entire movie, it's going to get really annoying just hearing that same sound over and over. So I like to add 3 or 4 different punch sounds and kind of mix it up. If you're making like a horror or killer movie, make sure to add knife sounds, gun sounds, any good sound effects, just anything that you think will spicing up your movie and add that extra flair with the different sound effects. Also, as far as thumbnails go, people always ask me how I make my thumbnails, and they are so easy. You just have to have a clip of yourself in front of a green screen, a clip of the background you want or picture, whatever, and then you put them in CapCut, and then you press on the picture of you with the green screen. And if you're wearing green, this won't work, but if you're not wearing green, it'll be fine. You just go to chroma key, or no, you go to remove background, chroma key, intensity, and then you just turn it up until the green screen is gone, and then you can add a text or random effects in CapCut or filters to spicing up your thumbnail, and it is just so easy. But some people don't really like CapCut, so if you're trying to edit a movie without using CapCut, I have no advice for you, because I think CapCut works just fine, and it's what I use for all my movies. I've never really used anything different, so I have no clue what to tell you if you're not using CapCut. But yeah, and my best advice is editing can also get a little boring sometimes. Just be patient, edit, and don't try to rush it or anything and get it out. I've done that a couple times before, and I'd miss punches, so there'd be every once in a while a character would punch and there'd be no effect. So just make sure that you're being patient and going through and checking and making sure you're doing it right. Adding background music can be pretty good for your movies, but if you're trying to make money from it, make sure you're adding copyright-free background music, or maybe even making your own music. I don't know. But yeah, it's just always good to add cool effects and songs and everything to make your movie better overall. As far as like finalizing and posting the movie goes, I usually post a premiere. I think premieres are really fun, and people like chatting and saying how they feel about the movie live while it's first coming out. So I think setting it as a premiere and scheduling it a day in advance or a couple hours in advance is always fun. Or you could just post it and set it as an instant premiere. Sometimes people ask me how my movies get lots of views, and my best advice is to just work hard. Eventually you'll have a movie that gets good, that gets a good views. Hashtags aren't super important. Don't use too many hashtags. Just keep it simple, like 4 or 5, maybe 6, or a little bit more. The hashtags I use on mine seem to do fine, so if you want to copy the ones that I use, go ahead. but don't do a whole bunch of stuff because then it messes with the algorithm and they don't know who to suggest it to, and you won't get good views by doing that. Having a good thumbnail helps, because if you don't have a good thumbnail, people won't want to click on the movie. And really, I can't control how many views you're gonna get on YouTube, so that's just my best advice for that. You could promote it in places like Discord and send it. I send my movies to my grandma and grandpa. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I send them to my family members so that they get more views. It is what it is. I just like sending it to them so they can watch it. But yeah, this has been my tutorial on how to make Gorilla Tag movies. If you guys have any other questions that I missed, make sure to comment them down below and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. But this has been fun, and I hope you guys learned something about making Gorilla Tag movies. Wobbly wiggly, whoa!